You can read and you understand, but when you want to speak, you just freeze. Words get stuck at the tip of your tongue. Why does this happen? So, in this video, I'm going to explain you 3 reasons why this happens and give you strategies that are total game changers. The number one reason why we freeze is because we fear that the conversation might lead somewhere we don't feel comfortable. So they might ask something we don't understand, or the conversation may be about a topic we have no idea about, and this is totally a challenge. So, what can you do in a situation like this? You can ask. So the power of questions has to do with 2 things. First, you lead the conversation towards where you feel comfortable. And the second thing is you don't have to do much speaking. So asking questions is great if you don't want to do a monologue, so to lead the conversation, but you still want to talk about this specific topic, right? So if you had a unit on traveling at in your English school and with your English teacher, you just talked about traveling, you've heard other students talking about that, you have vocabulary, you have expressions, you're comfortable with the past simple tense. Ask about that, right? What did you do last summer? What did you do last weekend? So if they traveled last weekend, so ask questions so that you know what might come, right? So this diminishes the risk of they might ask me whatever, or the conversation might derive a wherever. Reason number 2 why you might freeze when somebody asks you something, or when you know that you have to speak in English in an audience, even if it's small, is because you're not used to your voice in English out loud. And I really mean your voice. When we read, we have a little voice in our heads that reads. But that's not what I mean. I mean the actual out loud sound of our voice. We need to speak in English. We need to listen to ourselves. And if you don't have anybody to do this with, you can read short sentences out loud or long texts out loud. You can also repeat what somebody on YouTube says, right? So you listen to a sentence, you listen to a bit, you pause, you repeat out loud. This is different from actual reading. So when you're reading a book, you are usually reading faster and you're focusing on the context, on the content, the context. So here we're really speaking. So we really need to practice saying things out loud, and it might so happen that when you're reading out loud, you don't follow everything you're reading and you need to do it twice. So you need to read the same text twice or 3 times to fully understand and to follow what's happening. But that's okay, right? We're practicing here is actually speaking. The third reason why you might freeze completely the conversation in English has to do a bit with psychology. And this has to do with perfectionism, right? So when you speak in English, you just have to allow yourself to be simple or more simple than in your native language. So I'm sure that you're a very skillful speaker in your mother tongue, and when we translate that to English, or when we want to translate that to English, I know I have this beautiful expression, I have this exact word, and it's perfect for this situation. I don't have it. Wait, give me a second. I'm gonna check in the dictionary. You're killing fluency. You're killing the conversation. You have to allow yourself to not know certain things. Don't misunderstand me. I love vocabulary. I also work on this with my students a lot. But in the conversation, you have to allow yourself to not know everything. This is just reality of the process of learning English, right? So what can you do instead? Right? So, okay, I don't want to say it perfectly, but I still want to say it, right? So you have to find your own ways around it. So when we write, we can Google the word, and that's better. because it saves space. So when you know the word, you say it directly. And when you don't, you have to find your ways around it, and it will take you a bit longer. It's the price we have to pay to be able to speak in English. But this is an ability that, if perfectioned, it gains. So it makes you. It boosts your fluency, right? It makes you feel more confident because you say, okay, even if I don't have whichever word it might be, I'm still able to go around it. And this is something natives do all the time. I do myself, right? So I start a sentence and I decide, no, I want to change it. I want to say it better in this way, or rather in this other way. So it's an ability we build, we polish in order to, yeah, be able to communicate our ideas without having every word right now. Chances are, after the conversation, you're gonna think, ah, that was the word, but we have to live without it. Sometimes it's like that. If you're really invested in English and you want to make it your lifestyle, I have created this video for you. Go watch it now, and that was it on my side. Uriel.